What's up? It's your boy, the karaoke criminal, aka Bright Cole. And I'm excited to bring you this next episode in the series Branding on a Budget. Today we will be designing a logo using our phones in Canva. And some of the real designers might be saying, well, bro, that's maybe not the best way to do it, and you really need a vector file format, and you're limited with your font. Yeah, yes, I hear you, I got you. There's probably a better way to do this, but this series isn't for you. This series is for the youth pastor out there busting your butt to try and stretch every dollar and get the most that you can out of it. And sometimes you just got to use the tools that you have in your hands to get the job done until you've got resources to maybe do it the right way with the professional designer or whatever other process. So this one's for you.
Bright Cole, baby. Raining on the budget, man, your haters, you can't touch it. If you trying to step to him, then you better pop, shove it. We get your logo popping like a poker stick, ain't stopping. When you branding on the budget, man, the haters can't touch it. Branding on the budget, branding on the budget. Branding on the budget, man, the haters can't touch it.
All right, so we're in Canva, and we're gonna hit Create a Design. We'll pick Logo. So it's setting up a little artboard for me here. You can see over here on the left we've got some templates we could use, but we're going to start from scratch first. And so I asked you guys on Instagram to give me some ideas for made up youth ministry names, and the one that got upvoted the most was like Flaming Missiles for Jesus or something. So not going to work with that one. We'll do the runner up instead, which was Movement MVM. And again, we're going to pretend like we've already had the meeting where we decide the overall style together. So we've got a bunch of mood boards together and looked at what type of look we want to do for this. So first thing I'm going to do is just get my text in here, kind of see what shapes we're working with. One thing that's nice about Movement, MVMNT, and having like short words like that, and youth is also a short word, is you can do some funkier stuff with the text and it will still be legible. Whereas, if you've got a long word or a couple of long words, it's kind of harder to fit some of that stuff in there. So that's what I'm really looking for. I'm going to keep this one pretty clean for the get-go. And I'm probably going to use Movement first because that's going to be the funkier one that we'll want to match with a second font. So what we're really focusing on is trying to get the right style down, if that makes sense. And really, in this case, it's going to come down to kind of picking a couple of fonts and maybe adding an icon here. It's going down. I'm looking for something that is also sans serif, kind of clean like this, but something a little bit more interesting. And so I don't like that for youth, but I think it could work for Movement. Yeah, we'll switch these two. So Movement, the word itself has some of this stuff going on. And I really like the idea of having this second font be a little bit wider, cleaner, that stacks kind of nicely, right? Because we always got to think this is going to be used a lot of times in the context of a social profile, right? So it needs to make sense in a circle, basically. So I like that. I'm going to look through here and find some other sans serif fonts that are wider like that one. We got Monument, it's a little bit thinner, and Sunborn's kind of cool, but it looks a little old school. Agrandier wide. I like that. And yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. So the advantage of using this lighter weight on this bottom guy is youth doesn't need to be special. Like, you want the eye to be drawn to the operative word or the main point, which is Movement here. So I'm okay with youth kind of playing second fiddle and being a little bit smaller, plus everybody already knows that word. This is the one that your brain is going to need to process a little bit. And I'm going to just mess around with our line spacing. I'm going to try and get it kind of the same width. So right here we're bumping into something that if I were an illustrator, I would move the spacing or kerning between these letters around a little bit, like the Y and the O are too far apart. That's not an option that we have inside of Canva, So, and again, we're just going to be happy with what we can do here. Mess with that a little bit. Really what we're looking for on top of this too is clarity. You want this thing to, like, if you squint and lean way back, like, you can still read it, and it work in single color. We're just going to work in black and white for now. So that might be a version that I would do. Duplicate that. I would look at, doing the thicker version, something along those lines. Yeah, this one's pretty simple. Another thing that we might entertain here would be, I'm going to go work off of this first one again. We could add an icon in there. So over here on the left, I've got my trim marks pack that I made a while back. And just going to play with some of these, maybe as like an icon or a secondary deal. It's kind of cool since it like could work as maybe like an M. But we don't want to force it either, So this stuff's going to kick down a little bit. Bada boom. Maybe something like that, I don't know. Again, I don't love, or I know that we're not going to like just be head over heels for whatever we go for. But again, the goal is just get something solid that we can not be embarrassed about, and it's not like confusing until we go through the process for real, if that makes sense. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at the space between the top of the M and the top of the circles here, or the ovals rather, measuring that space against the space at the bottom of the Y and the bottom of the ovals. I want that space to be the same and this to be centered. I'm also looking at the space here between the M and the right circle, and I want that to kind of match the space between, or like all the elements to be roughly spaced apart the same. This is the kind of stuff nobody's ever going to walk up to your design and say, hey, that spacing looks off, unless it's another designer, but you'll feel it kind of at a core brain level, so we want to address that stuff. So this could be a way to go too. I don't hate that at all. Let me know in the comments which one of these you like better, if you like just the simpler deal, if you like that fatter version down here. You can also go into your effects and do an outline, dude, like that. I don't know, kind of like that one too. So let me know which one of these three, A, B, or C, you think is the best. Alright, so let's say we're happy with our logo and we're ready to use it. To save this to your device or share it with a friend, you're going to just go up here to the share and save with transparent background is the way you want to go. That way you can put it on top of another image, or put it on a t-shirt, whatever else. But before we do that, if you remember when we set up this file, we used just the logo thing that they offer out of the box. I'm going to recommend that we resize it. So it starts out at 500 by 500 pixels. And we'll want to kick that up to maybe 5,000 by 5,000 pixels. I don't know if this is still high enough quality to put on a t-shirt or print, but it will definitely be higher resolution for, it's like really overkill. If you are going to save it for your profile, like your profile picture on Instagram, you're actually going to want to keep that background image in there, so you'll just save this whole thing as an image. And that's all she wrote, folks. Thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more stuff like this. I've already got a crap ton of other branding on a budget series content that I want to do. But if you want to see more Canva stuff, let me know. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe. Turn on notifications. Sign up for the email list. I really love sending those monthly emails. I hope you like getting them. But yeah, shoot this to somebody that you know that could use it. Let's get out of here. I'm done pitching stuff. Have a good rest of the day.
Right, Cole, baby. Raining on the budget, man, you haters, you can't touch it. If you tryna step to him, then you better pop, shove it. We get your logo popping like a poker stick, ain't stopping. When you branding on the budget, man, the haters can't touch it. Branding on the budget, branding on the budget. Branding on the budget, man, the haters can't touch it. When you branding on the budget, branding on the budget. Branding on the budget, man, the haters can't touch it. Logos more than pixels, pixels more than logos. Shout out to the fans, get it bagging like it's Frodo. If you wanna come pop like a pop star, rock star, come and get your logo popping. It ain't that hard.